It's a Jewish group.
Is two of the ways that I think about doing spiritual education, both in my role as a director of spiritual education, which means I'm in the enviable position of getting to think about how my institution contextualizes their education in a spiritual environment. And in my role as a leader of retreats. And there are really two things that I think about, and one has to do with content and the other has to do with process. And part of my approach to teaching Judaism from a spiritual perspective is to look at information not as information that enters through the head, like in a scholarly way, but that a lot of the information our tradition gives us is actually information about how we can make something actually happen. It is a spiritual technology. And we often read it as if it's an academic text. If you read, for example, certain Kabbalistic sources, you can read them as, oh, this is an interesting story. Or you can read it as, if I do the things in this story, something is going to happen for me internally, spiritually. And that's part of my goal, because I want those experiences to transform me in a way that will allow me to connect, right, to however I understand God, however I understand the ultimate, and to the community. So I actually look at the sources that I work with, and I work with a lot of written sources, as spiritual technologies or as practical advice, and not just as something that might be interesting to read and that I might find intellectually stimulating or powerful. So, for example, if I teach a meditation class and we're reading a Talmudic text and dream interpretation, the assignment is going to be to go home and remember your dream and bring it back, and we're going to talk about it, and we're going to see how these methods work. So that's part of it. That's the content piece. The process piece is also that I always want to invite the people who are learning with me to be engaged with the material in a way that takes spiritual risks, in a way that causes them to ask the big questions of themselves. So when I did my class in Judaism and the Earth, I was interested not only in teaching them the sources about what Judaism has to say about our relationship to nature, but also making sure we went out to pray in nature, making sure that they looked at some of the social justice work happening around Judaism and the environment, to invite them to see themselves as part of a conversation in a way that included their spiritual lives. And often this is very surprising. What happens is very surprising, because even when you're working with rabbinical and cantorial students, you'd be surprised how rarely people ask them about their spiritual lives. So you get to find out things about people, and you get to be in dialogue with people in ways that are unusual and which actually, break some of the boundaries we usually have with people we study with. Like, you're able to know people in a deeper way. And finally, in talking about process, I want to say a little bit of something about setting. Some of the work I do has to do with how we experience the spiritual or God. I think one of the reasons we avoid that term is that people mean so many different things by it that you're always at the risk of being misunderstood. So sometimes we just sort of avoid it entirely. If you want to know what I mean by God, you can ask me later. But that some of my work has to do with how we are part of the natural world, and how the divine is revealed to us through the natural world. So I co-ran a weekend on this basic topic on living a more ecstatic, earth-based, embodied Judaism that is more connected to the body and the earth. We did some studying. We also made sure to do some experiences. And our final event at the weekend was to go to an underground river in a cave. And we did our Rosh Hashanah Tashlif early that year. We did it in the river, in the cave. And we asked people to use stones to represent what they wanted to throw away. Now, I'm sure many of you have done Tashlif, and maybe it's been a powerful experience. I had never experienced anything like this. And it was totally transformed by the physical environment. It was like it was 3,000 years ago. Drumming, cave, candles, flowing water, black darkness. Wow. You really had the sense of your ancestors being there with you. And people had, from what I could tell, because of their tears and because of other things, So it's important to think about our environment, that Judaism has a lot of advice for how to structure an environment in a way that lets us feel deeper and lets us get in touch with our depths. And sometimes we need help from the natural world or other ways that allow us to experience the wonder. So I would offer that as